Hello, everyone. I think I am live. I was just trying to figure it out. You were probably seeing me trying to figure it out. Hello, hello. Let me just get rid of that. There we are. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited tonight to create with you a fun project. This little project that we are going to be creating tonight is perfect for a nice little gift, for maybe a hostess gift, maybe a teacher's gift, or maybe just because. So let's see here. Perfect. I am live wherever I need to be. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. Give me a little thumbs up. Give me a hello and let me know where you're watching from. For today, we have got a special little Tuesday night toss-up. I have decided to create a little project with you, and this project was something that I had created for a huge collaborative event that we happened to do with a group of leaders. So my Stamp It Canadian team gets to join in on this big collaborative event that we hold. I am part of a group of leaders across Canada that we come together and we put on full day events for our team. So if you happen to be one of the team members of one of these ladies or myself, it is a awesome perk in which you get to have a fun day of inspiration, of many different presentations, and each one of us brings a little presentation each time we get together. I'm trying to think if it is, I think it's 3 times a year that we end up doing. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's 3. Every 4 months is when we do it usually. So the project that I came up with, it's something that just happened to pop into my head about a day, not even a day. It was probably the night before. I was trying to think of what that I could present at this collaborative event, and I hadn't been feeling great, as you guys know. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to go live. I ended up taping a video instead of going live because I had some family stuff, and I created this cute little bag that holds 8 little tags. So I am calling it a bag full of tags, one sheet wonder. So the best part about this project that we're going to create together tonight. So I hope that those of you that are watching have picked out some pieces to have ready to go. I'll quickly tell you what you need because it is so simple that anyone can quickly grab these in their craft room and you'll be able to create along. Okay, so you are going to need, for this evening's project, you are going to need 1 sheet. Let me grab mine. Let me see here. There we go. You are going to need one sheet of 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So if you want to like quickly grab one, go for it. I would recommend a lighter color than a darker color. Doesn't have to be white or cream. You can have something that is going to coordinate with 2 sheets of 6 by 6 pattern paper. So these coordinate beautifully together, as you can see. They are part of the Kintsugi. I always have to think about that one. Kintsugi suite that we have got in our new annual catalog. And as you can see, the pink, this is petal pink, it matches perfectly. So these are the pieces that I am going to be using for the project. And the best part, I love things, as you know, I love my scraps. I've been creating more things with that pile of scraps from yesterday that I will share tomorrow. But I love using scraps, and I love having a project to use up some of these beautiful papers. So if you are one who happened to take part of my product share. I know you've got lots and lots of different choices, and you have these choices in your package as well, because you got a little bit of everything from online and the annual catalog. And so you've got lots of papers to choose from. So this would be the perfect moment to go in there, grab a couple pieces of 6x6, or I ended up just cutting a couple of my 6x12s because I wanted two different ones into 6x6 pieces, and create a long. Okay, so do you want to see what we're making? This is what we're going to make. Here is our little bag. It is the cutest little bag. Okay, and haha, this will come into play because as I was designing this, I was trying to figure out, I remixed the measurements. I wanted to be able to use like every single scrap of the paper, so we had no waste. And all that was left over in the project was this piece of 1 by 1, a square piece of cardstock. So that is where I ended up putting it on the bottom with a little note. Okay, but you're going to make that, and then you have got the cutest little tags that you're also going to make that can go inside. Now this doesn't have to be something that goes inside, but it does coordinate, so you could always use one of, I should get Lance creating, right? He's gonna pop in here, we need to put him to work. And there goes Jim. Jim's going up too. Tell you, the two of them are like the sidekick. He's his little shadow, up he goes, up the stairs. But it is great because they do coordinate, because the paper all coordinates. But you could also decide to use one for on the bag, and then just have the rest for to give away little tiny gifts. Okay, so that is our project for today. I wanted to use, this uses the boho. This is boho paper, okay, but we're gonna use this Kintsugi paper today. Okay, so let's see, we got lots of people that are joining in from, hello there, hi there, near and far. I love it. We have got Vancouver, we have got Merritt, we have got Winnipeg, we've got all across Canada, and we've got New Zealand. I think we've got even someone from Australia, if I remember right. Got lots of you joining in. So I love it when we all come together to create, and that was my goal for tonight. So let's head on down to the workspace here, and we are going to get started with a project. Like I said, I've got my two 6x6. I have got my one 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and that is all that you're going to need for the actual creating of things. I have got some little tiny greetings here. I am using the blooming phrases because you can see how the little greetings that are on these tiny tags. I love how these turned out. See the hello there. These little tiny tags, they're just 2.5 inches long, okay, that you're going to be stamping on by 1/2 inch. So you want something that's going to fit in there, and we've got lots of different stamp sets that are even have little tiny thank yous or happy birthdays. There is quite a variety. This one just happens to have a lot that work perfect, so I'm using that. I think I've got my little sketchy one as well as my good one. So these are the actual templates for our project today. And you may think, oh my gosh, that looks so confusing, but it is definitely not confusing. All of these pieces are our tags. They're all the exact same size. These are our greetings, exact same size. And this piece that you cut out of your cardstock creates the bag. Okay, this is that little tiny piece that's left over right there. All right, and then these are our two pieces of designer series paper. One is going to decorate your bag, one is going to decorate all of your tags. Okay, so we're going to walk through it. It's going to be quite quick, and well, maybe not so quick, but it's going to be quite easy to follow, and I think we're going to have some fun here. Okay, now going on right now, this was my originals. Look at how messy that was as I was trying to figure everything out. You're going to need, of course, something to score, something to cut. So I have got my Stampin' Trimmer. That's what I'm going to use. Let's just see. I think we have got, everybody has made it here. We're after 6:15. We're going to get started with our project. I'm going to turn on the old light here. I will, my ring light always reflects right onto my mat, but I want to use my glass mat tonight just because it's easy to work on. I may end up putting a sheet thereafter, so hopefully this does not distract you too much. But as I'm doing my cutting, it's just easy to do it when this is on the glass mat, okay? So we are going to start with our piece of cardstock, okay? So everybody grab your piece of cardstock, grab yourself a trimmer and a scoring tool, and we are gonna get going and we're gonna have some fun. I will post the templates for this on my Sue's Paper Creation page so that you have got them for future if you want to create this again, because it will be something that maybe isn't the easiest to remember the cutting, but you know, even if you want to just make a couple bags, you can, and then you could use all this other piece for something else. But I thought it'd be fun to make some tags that coordinate, so that's our project, okay? All right, are we ready to go? I'm excited. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, as you can see, this is how this is gonna go. I'm gonna start with one cut right down the center, and I'm going to write all of these measurements. We're gonna cross them off as we go. I'm going to write them on just a scrap because I find visually it is easier to follow if you've got things written as numbers, okay? So this actual bag piece that we're gonna end up having is 7 inches by 7.5. That's gonna create our bag, okay? So if we've got 7.5 here, and we've got an 11-inch piece, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11. That is 3.5 inches, right? So our first, and we cut it all the way down. So our first thing that we're gonna cut is we're gonna take our piece of cardstock and we're gonna put it at 3.5 inches. And like I said, we are gonna walk through this as we go, okay? If you are joining later, it's probably not something that's going to be easy to just hop on in because of all the different measurements that we're going to walk through, but you will easily be able to follow the replay, okay? All right, here we go. 3.5. Let's create. We're going to cut. Okay, so this piece here is going to end up doing some tags. It's going to end up doing some greetings. We're just going to put that aside for now. I want to cut this down so that we have got just the bag piece, okay? So we have cut this whole section off. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this piece that's left and we are actually going to turn it on its side. So we now have, just to make sure we are all on the same page, we have 8.5 inches that is across here, and we have got 7.5 going up and down, okay? So on this 8.5 inch side, we are going to cut it to 7 inches. Okay, you ready? We're cutting it. This is 7 inches. 7. Here we go. All right, I'm going to put this piece and this piece aside right now. Okay, then we are ready to create our actual bag. Are we ready? I'm going to turn it back to this direction. That is 7.5 inches. So 7.5, make sure you have your 7.5 across the top, and we are going down 7 inches, okay? We're gonna start our scoring. So the next part is all just scoring. There is no cutting. I don't want you to, we're gonna do some hand cutting after with some scissors, but I don't want you to have your cutting blade anywhere close. We are going to be doing some scoring, and we are going to go right here. These are our measurements that we're gonna be scoring across. We've got a 1/2 inch. We have got 2 1/4, 4, and 5 3/4. Okay, those are our measurements. All right, hello Annette, coming to us from Ontario. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we are going to go 1/2 inch. We're going to start with our scoring. So 1/2 inch is our first score line. Okay, that's that one right there. Next one is going to be at 2 1/4. So we're going to go 2 1/4, and we're going to score again. So they all end up being, these are the sides of the bag. So in between the lines, you've got 1 3/4 inch, okay? And then we're going to go to 4 inches. And then 5 3/4. Okay, so there we have it. We were 1/2 inch, 2 1/4, 4, and 5 3/4. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to turn it, and I'm going to turn it this way. So I have got the 1/2 inch piece that is down here on the bottom. Okay, and I am going to score it, let's see here, just got to look. We are scoring it at, let's see here, 1, is this 7, this is 6, so 1 inch. So we're going to score it at 1 inch. Just double check here, 1 3/4, yeah, 1 inch. So score it at 1 inch. Okay, and then we are going to go all the way over, and our next score line is going to be at 5 1/4. So 1 inch, and then 5 1/4. And that is with having this little 1/2 inch portion at the bottom, okay? You like the Mickey? Oh, you notice it's hard to tell what they are, but those, yes, those are little Mickey Mouses. Okay. Thanks, Pat. All right. Okay, so there is all of the scoring that is needed for our bag. Okay, let's put this aside, and we're going to create all of the bag first. So what I like to do is I like to actually add the pieces of designer series paper onto the bag before I actually put the bag together. I find it much easier that way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to decide. I know I'm making you make a big decision here. And you know what? I am thinking of actually putting this on the outside of the bag, because I think that's going to be really pretty. And then I'm going to use this piece for all of our tags. And I think it'll be fun because it will have all of these different kind of pieces that will have some gold in it, and some of them will have different patterns. So it'll have a little bit more interest. Okay, so I'm going to start with this piece. This is going to decorate up my bag. And that is the decision that you have to make at this point, is which piece is going to go on your bag. Okay, so then we've got our 6x6 piece, and we're going to turn it. I'm turning it in this direction, and we're going to do cutting. Okay, so I'm going to cut first at 4 inches. Okay, so let's go 4 inches. going to give it a cut. Like I said, how I came up with this pattern, I don't know. My mind just kind of just went there. It's quite interesting. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to cut, this says 5 1/4, but basically we're taking this piece left and we're going to cut it at 1 1/4. Okay, so we want to have a 3/4 of an inch strip. Just make sure our pattern, yep, it's non-directional. So 3/4 of an inch strip, and then we want a 1 1/4. So 1 1/4, like that. And that's going to leave a 3/4 of an inch strip. Okay. Everybody following along? Does it matter if it's positional? So like, does it matter if, you know, it has a direction to it? Basically, I mean, I guess I am using non-directional. We cut 4 inches here. If you were to have like some sort of scene, if you're using like those beautiful gallery papers or something, and it's a scene that's going to wrap around, say, the box, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be so cool. Then, you know, this is going to be cut into strips, and it's going to be laying in this direction on your bag. Okay, and then these pieces are going to be laying that way too. So if you are using directional paper, then when you go to cut it, you want the pattern to be going sideways. That makes sense? With this being the bottom of the bag and this being the top. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. All right, so I'm going to start with this 4-inch chunk. And as I cut it, I'm going to lay it down on my piece of cardstock. So let me just do a little side thing here. This is going to make it easier for you to follow. I'm going to actually score my score lines, or burnish my score lines, so you can actually see them a little bit easier. You don't have to do this on yours because, I mean, you're going to be able to see it. You're going to end up burnishing them anyway, but I just want you to be able to see that a little bit better, easier. This is the top of your bag. This is the bottom of your bag. So top has the little skinnies, the narrower. This is the bottom pieces that are going to create the bottom of the bag. And then this is going to be your tab that glues it shut. Okay. So if you do have something where you want to keep the pattern as it is, then as I cut these pieces, I'm going to place them in that order. Okay. If you have just a random pattern, it's not going to matter too much. Okay, let's go back to here. So next thing is I'm going to end up cutting 1 1/2 inch strips. So I'm going to cut this into 1 1/2 inch pieces. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to cut a 1 1/2 inch. This is going to go right in there. Okay, then 1 1/2. See how I'm keeping my patterns so that they do line up, or they're continuous, but with the gaps. I mean, if you don't matter about that, you can do whatever you like. You could even, I mean, really, you could, if you wanted to go, you know, back and forth with the sides being different than the front and the back, you could do that, but I'm going to go like this. Okay, so there is the sides of all of the bag. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little tiny, this narrower strip, and I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to cut this at 1 1/2, and we're going to pop this into these little pieces that are at the top. So again, you're always centering them between your score lines. Okay, see how cool that is, how pretty that is. Okay, next, this piece. This we're going to flip, and again, we want just to have a little bit of interest, so I'm going to cut this 1 1/2 inch pieces. And this is why you want to have pieces of pattern paper in which you are okay with the front and the back working together. Okay, you want to have them match or be complementary. So that's what we're doing here. We're going complementary, and then see how there is the patterns and stuff in the second piece that we're going to use for our tags. All right, so I have got all of these pieces. We're going to do a little bit of gluing. So we're working on our little bag here first. So if you are just joining in, we are creating together. We're creating a bag and 8 adorable little tags, all from 2 pieces of 6x6 pattern paper and 1 piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And we are using every single scrap for this project. So already we've used that 1 host sheet of 6x6 paper. We've cut it all up. I think this is going to look quite beautiful, and I am going to use those other pieces of pink as a little kind of grounding strip that's going to go through the center of here as well. And when we go to decorate up these bags, I think it's going to look really pretty. So I'm going ahead and I am gluing these little tiny pieces at the top. This paper is gorgeous because it's got that beautiful gold throughout it, and it is a suite, so it is part of the buy one get one 50% off. So right now, of course, we have that big sale. It started today. In fact, I've got my screen ready to share afterwards. If anyone wants to know, okay, what is on sale, what is a suite, what isn't a suite, where do I find all of the suites that are available and the products that are within that suite, I am going to actually share my screen, and I'll show you all that because it makes it so much easier. I'm also going to show you, so I'll do this in a little bit after we get our project made. So I'm going to put a little piece of pink right through the center here too. Okay, just like that. That we've got the virtual scrapbooking, month by month scrapbooking. It is like a huge scrapbooking event that actually Stampin' Up! Is doing all the prep for you. It's pre-cutting everything to make 24 pages, so 12 double layouts, and you get like stamp sets and your page projectors and your cardstock and your die cuts and embellishments and twine, and I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot that come in the kit. It's everything to create everything that you need. Just have to have your own adhesives and ink. Okay, basically. All right, so there is, and this is going to be a gorgeous color combination. It's so pretty. So there is all of our pieces that is ready for the bag. I'm actually going to cut this, and then we will move on to using up our leftover pieces, and we'll do the 8 tags. Okay, so to create the bag, you want to basically, I like to cut out the score lines, so I kind of trim on either side of them, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. See how there's just that little tiny bit that's cut out, just like that. Hopefully this is giving you lots of time to get your scoring done. Like I said, if you're just tuning in now, you can definitely see what we are creating, and then I put it actually in the description to have 1 sheet of cardstock and 2 pieces of 6x6 designer series papers or pattern papers. I'm going to, let me just X this here so you can see. So this tab here, we're going to cut this little piece and this piece. Okay. Oh, this is so pretty. This blue on this petal pink is gorgeous. I can't wait to see actually my favorite part. And I kind of do a little angled cut there. See that? Just like that. Because this is going to create a tab where we're going to put glue and we're going to create the actual bag. Like that. Okay. So there is the actual pieces to the bag. It's already decorated. Beautiful Kintsugi. I'm getting it. Kintsugi. It is blue, looks gray on the video. It's actually blue. See that? It is actually blue. It's so pretty. It is Misty Moonlight is what it is. Okay? So pretty. I'm at work. And will this be available for replay? Always. Yes, it will definitely be available for replay on Facebook. Facebook has the new thing that it will end up disappearing after 30 days. But that is one of the main reasons why I also stream it to or to YouTube at the same time, so that it will be on there. So you'll be able to get it after 30 days. You'll definitely be able to find it on YouTube. Okay. I'm just terrible at putting new like thumbnail photos. So it's just, you know, those really terrible pictures that catch me kind of half in the motion of making things. But you'll be able to, I'm going to have to go and kind of clean that up, because then you'll know where to find stuff, because you'll see the photos instead. So here's my tab. I've got glue on it. I always recommend when you glue something, use your flat work surface, because it's going to make sure that you have got a nice squared bag or box, rather than trying to do it while you're piecing it together and it's in your hand. Okay, there we have it. Look, perfectly square. Amazing. Okay, so we have got there is our seam line there, right? So I want to make sure that when I go to create this, put the bottom together, I'm going to do the sides first, just like this. Now, when I did my video for our event gathering, I am sure if you have watched that, if you're on one of our teams and you've watched it, my voice probably sounded so funny and went in and out. So this is going to be a much clearer version to watch, I'm sure. But I got it done. I like to share. Okay. And then we're going to fold back to front and then front to back. There. Like that. Okay. And then I like to take my bone folder, pop it in, and just do a little stir like that. Okay. So this is the main part of our little bag. We're going to pinch it. Is this the paper? Is this? Yes, it is included in your paper share. Yes. I didn't get a chance to look through it all. Oh, it is. It is in there. Yeah. So, and that's the nice thing. If you did get the paper share, the nice thing is I'm going to be pulling out papers and using them from different projects, and you will have all of them because you'll have a little bit of everything in there. So you'll be able to either create the same or make the same project with lots of the different papers. Okay. In fact, I've got two paper shares left. So I can definitely show everybody what was in that share, because there's a lot. How was your chicken lesson? It was good. Oh, that's hilarious. You remember that. It was delicious. The chicken was good. I was in the middle making chicken last night as I went live. Okay, so we are going to eventually just pinch the sides of this like so, and just a gentle little pinch. This is going to create the little bag like that. Isn't that beautiful? The colors are just so pretty. Okay, so that is going to be our little bag. I'm going to leave it like that for now, and we are going to work at putting together our little tags. Okay, so these are the pieces that were left from the cardstock, and we are going to start with taking this skinny one It measures 7.5 by 1.5. 7.5 by 1.5. And what we're gonna do, I'll show you where we've gone so far. And like I said, I'll post these photos. But this was this piece that we cut off. Okay, and the other strip is this piece. So I'm gonna start and I'm gonna cut this strip into 2.5 inch pieces. So we're gonna cut it at 2.5, and we're gonna cut it at 2.5, like that. Okay, so that is the first 3 of our 8 tags. We get 8 tags out of this project, as well as this beautiful bag, and they're all gonna look so pretty together. Okay, then we have got our strip here that was on this end, and I want you to cut it in a way that we end up with a little tiny square that we can add a little tiny message at the bottom of the bag, or you could punch a hole in it and you could tie like a little tiny tag to the ribbon as well. Okay, so I want you to go in with this piece, and we're gonna go 2.5, and then we're gonna cut this 1 inch strip off. Okay, so you're gonna end up with 2.5, and then you're gonna end up with a 1 inch strip. Okay, that's the next part of this project. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna turn it on its side, and we are going to cut 1.5. We're gonna do this 5 times. Okay, so this is 3. There's 1.5. That's gonna make our 4th tag, and then 1.5, and then 1.5, and then 1.5. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, and our last one, 1.5. Okay, so there is 8 pieces at 2.5 by 1.5. Okay, now this last piece is just 1 inch. I want you to stick it in the middle there and cut it right down the center. And you're gonna have 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch. Okay, right down the center. Okay, so now you've got 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 1/2 inch. Okay, we're gonna put those there. We got our pile of 2.5 by 1.5, and then this is 2.5 by 1/2. Okay, now we've got this piece that's left. I'm gonna give you a second. I'm so excited. I'm creating quickly here. Okay, so we have just cut all of this. So even though this looks like a super busy piece of cardstock and you're like, oh my goodness, where to start? Once you get this piece out by cutting, the key is to cut straight down here at 3.5 first, okay? And then cut this strip. And once you make your bag here, then the rest of these pieces, you're just going to cut them into little piles, because we're making 8 little tags, and then you're going to decorate them with this piece right here. Okay, so the next piece we're going to cut off is we're going to cut off a 1 inch square. Okay, 1 inch square. So this here is our 1 inch square. We're going to cut that, and we're going to put that right there. Okay, I've got my little piles. I love this petal pink. It looks so pretty with all this. Okay, everyone following along? Looking good? Now I think it's easiest, I mean you could do it either way, but I think it's going to be easiest to cut this one right down the center at 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're going to go like this. Ready? Just like that. Okay, perfect. Everyone is so busy working away here. Okay, so we've got our 2 1/2 inch strips, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to cut it at 2.5, And I'm going to cut it at, I've got the 2 strips here, at 2.5. And then that leaves these 2 at 2.5. And there you have now 8 of your pieces to go on your tag for your greeting. You've got 8 tag pieces, and you've got your little tiny square you can write something on for the bottom of your bag. Okay? How are we all doing? Are we doing okay? Hopefully you're doing all right. Because we're getting ready to create the actual pieces that are going to go on the tags. Okay, so we've come quite a ways. We have cut our portion for our little bag. We have used 1 piece of 6x6, decorated it up so it is so pretty. And then we have used the rest of the cardstock to create 8 little tags, 8 little pieces for greetings. And we're now going to take this beautiful piece of pattern paper, and we're going to cut this down so we have it for on our tags. Okay, so I want to address direction again. Okay, so whenever we go to use a piece of pattern paper, if there is a direction, like this one has a direction on it. Okay, so I want to, this side, it doesn't really matter. There's no real direction on there. It's just kind of like crazy prettiness with gold. I love it. Okay, where this one has, I want to cut it, when I cut it down, I want the strips to be in this direction. Okay, so I'm going to turn it in this direction, so therefore the pattern's up and the pattern is sideways. Okay, so if you have a pattern on one side that is directional, make sure that side is up so you can see the pattern that's directional and that it's laying sideways. Okay, those are the important parts. All right, the rest, we're just going to cut this down. We're going to cut it into 8 bigger pieces and 8 little pieces because it's all going on to tags. Okay, so we are going to start with, we are going to go at 2. We're going to start at one side and we're going to cut at 2 1/4. So I'm going to cut a 2 1/4 inch strip off of, or yeah, 2 1/4. So, okay, so 2 1/4 right there. Okay, so we're cutting a 2 1/4 inch strip. We're going to cut it down. Okay, then what I find easiest is to take this piece and just turn it all the way around like that and go in from the opposite direction at 2 1/4 as well. Okay, so we went in from one end at 2 1/4, cut off a piece. I'm going in from the other end at 2 1/4, just like that. Okay, and then I can take this piece that's left and I can just cut this one down the center. So 3/4 of an inch. We've got 1.5 inches here. We're going to cut it at 3/4 of an inch and we're going to cut it down the center. Okay. So there is our pieces. Okay. Everybody got that? Awesome. Okay, these ones I'm going to put aside. I'm just going to put those off to the side. These ones here, if you want to, you can stack them. We're just going to cut them at 1.5 inch pieces. Okay, and we're going to go 1, 1.5. It seems to be the theme. 1.5. Okay, so now we've got 8 equal pieces, which is perfect. Okay, so there's our 8 equal pieces. I am going to just stack them, and then I'm going to take these 2 strips, and what do you think I'm going to cut them at? 1.5, 1.5. one. Oh, let's see. Put it down this way. 1.5 and 1.5. So again, I cut them together, but I have got, there you have it, 8 equal pieces. So we're all done with our cutting. Woohoo, we made it. And we have used every single strip of our pattern paper. We have got accounted for every single piece of our 8.5 by 11. Okay, I am going to bring in just a sheet right now just to cover up that ring. Now that I've got I'm just going to pop it right over here. I'll put all these pieces on there. Okay, just because that ring light adds a reflection in there that I don't want. Okay, so you should have 8 of these, 8 of these, and these. Okay, and then this little tiny square. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to stamp some greetings on these pieces before I put my tags together. Okay, and I'm going to get out just line them all up. We got 8 of them. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to get out this blooming phrases. Now, I didn't grab an ink color, but you know what I think I'm going to use? I'm going to use this gorgeous Misty Moonlight. I think is going to be perfect color for our greetings. Let's see. Okay, so if you're, like I said, if you're new to my channel, welcome everyone to Sue's Paper Creations. We are in the middle of creating a cute little bag slash box, I guess. Cute little bag though, and 8 little tags that are going to go inside. I am using all of these really cute greetings from Blooming Phrases. I do have to make sure that they are going to be okay length for on this strip of paper, because I only have 2.5 inches. And so we have got a couple in here that wouldn't work like this, just because that's going to be too long. This Thinking of You is going to be too thick. The birthday, instead I'm going to put happy on a couple, because then I can put happy and then I can write on the back anniversary or birthday or whatever the occasion may be, and I can add the rest of it onto the back. But I'm going to do 2 of each. So I've got the happy, and I'm going to stamp. Let's see how I do. Make sure you don't have to. Good thing there is 2 sides to every piece of paper, right? So if I have to, I can flip. I'm not stressing about it. So there's my happy. Put it off to the side. I'm going to end up with blue fingers. It's okay. If you don't get inky, you're not having fun, right? Okay, and then celebrate. 1 and 2. Perfect. And then a little thanks. So you're going to have adorable little tags that are going to be perfect for all these different occasions. So even if you use the bag separately from the tags, you ended up using 2 full pieces of your DSP. You didn't end up with a whole bunch of extra little pieces everywhere, and you end up using a full piece of cardstock, and you got a bag and you got tags out of it. I like the fact that they coordinate so that it is kind of a cute little gift. I mean, it is big enough that you could probably put a little chocolate or something in there, maybe a little indoor little chocolate, and then you could put the tags, I am sure. But we are going to make the cute little tags that are going to go in here. Okay, so I've got the greeting. I may decorate them. I'll show you my samples here that I used a full different set of papers, the Boho Vibes papers, and they were awesome because again it had some kind of crazy mixture of colors on some of the papers, and I like that for the tags because it added some really beautiful interest to it. I am going to flip these over and see how we have got all of this little bit of gold on here, and each piece is going to be slightly different. That's why I love using these papers. Are going to be slightly different because of the nature of the piece of paper, and I'm just going to do a very light layer of glue so I can get all these down. But it is going to be nice because it is going to be a coordinate, but also have everything match. So different but matching, right? So the you could give all the tags as a separate little tiny gift in a little box, but it's kind of nice to have them fit inside the bag and have a bag full of tags. Okay, look at how pretty. These are going to be so beautiful when they're all done. Okay, like look at this one. I purposely left them upside down so I don't know what they're going to look like as I put them on here. It's like a cool surprise. Some of them are going to be more exciting than the others, and that's okay. Okay, that one's got a little tiny bit. We're going to add a little element of light blue on them too. Like, look at that one. You have to tell me which one is your favorite of all of these chunks of patterns. I knew I would love using this paper on here. Look at that one's got some flowers. Gorgeous. Oh, see, that one's got a little bit of everything. That one's got lots of different action on the piece. Okay, and then that one's pretty cool too. Do love. I'm going to put this towards the gold, more towards the top. Then, okay, that one's going to be interesting because I'm going to be adding a little tiny bit of this pattern already on there. So, got to decide. I think I'm going to put it up this way. Like that. And then this one's got mostly blue. Kind of a lighter, this is Cloud Cover, which is such a gorgeous, almost like a light sagey blue, really. Gray tones, undertones to it. Love that color. Okay, so look at how different all of those papers look. They're so beautiful. Now what we're going to do is we are going to start popping these up along the side. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. I got to decide which ribbon or twine I'm going to use for these tags. I'm keeping them off to one side. I like that off-side look. Okay. So cute, right? When they get the little tiny ribbons on them, you're gonna love it. Now, what I might do is I did have, like I have another sheet of this paper that has all the little vases that are within this suite. Like the stamps have the vases and it has the gold throughout them. And I do have one sheet of the pattern paper that has the little vases on it, and I might put a vase on the bag to decorate it up. But for this, I might do, I thought about cutting out vases, but I think it's going to be too much because this paper is so pretty. I don't want to cover up the design too much. So I think what I will choose to do is I've got from the Floral Impression Suite, there is some little tiny baby little flowers, and I used them on the card that I created from scraps last night. I'll show you the flowers I'm thinking about using, and I'm just going to sprinkle some white ones, little tiny beautiful little tiny flowers, just maybe like 3 onto each tag, just to give it a little, oh, something. You know what I forgot to do? Oh my goodness, I got talking. We didn't get to use this piece. What I was going to do is put it across here like this, but that's okay. There's a flip side. We're going to decorate just this bottom little part of the tag like that. Okay? And that way you can write on this little piece, and there's a decorative piece on there. I'll show you what I mean. I did the other ones. I got talking. I got distracted, but you know what? It happened for a reason, because then I could show you if you don't want to put something like some of these pieces I think would look pretty with a little decorative piece underneath there and then the greeting. But with the gold, I almost don't want to cover it up. So it really does depend on your piece of paper. And this is a nice alternative way to use those little strips to add just a little something else to the back. Ooh, sticking to my finger. That's cute. I'll show you though the ones that I did with the boho, and with those ones I did put the strip across, and it did look quite pretty. Okay, so it gives you kind of the same look when you put it across. It gives the same look as, I'm gonna have sticky fingers here, as the bag. Like I said, I'll show you my original one. Okay, just making sure that I'm putting these on the bottom portion of the tag like that. I like best the third one from the bottom. Oh, see, now I gotta check it out, Sandy. Let me just see. The third one from the bottom, on the right, on the left. Third one from the bottom. I think it's going to look really pretty with some white little flowers. It's going to be the perfect little touch to it, I think. We don't need anything else. Okay, so let's see. So that's the back side. Your little writing goes on there. And then look at the front with all of the greetings. This one, 1, 2, third from, I'm thinking, oh, I don't know. It could be this one or this one. I like the third one from the end on the bottom. From the end on the bottom. Maybe this one. This one from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking this one. I could be wrong. I think they're all pretty. Okay, so here's our bag. Here's our little tags. Now, I have got, this is a little triple pack of tags, or sorry, of tag punches. And unfortunately, it is out of circulation until, I think it is, I got the right one. Awesome. I think it is out of circulation until later this month, end of the month maybe. But it has this one, it has this one, and it has this one. So it's got you covered for all your different tag needs. And I do have some Misty Moonlight ribbon that I'm going to use to tie the little bag shut. But first we need to find some sort of twine. And the best choice may be just some natural twine for these ones. I'm going to see. Gold might be beautiful though, right? I got to see if I have the gold twine. Gold actually would be amazing because of the gold in here. Okay, let me just see if I have the gold. I might. Let me just check it. Let's see. I may have used it. Okay. None there. None there. I'm going to see. Okay. I'm going to see if this is going to be, and it may be too much. It might be too wide, but it might be okay. Antibacterial stuff will remove the glue from your fingers. I need that right about now, don't I? Okay, so I'm going to see what this looks like. I think this, because it's a mesh, I think that this might work perfect, and we will see if I can get this. I need my little floss threader. I think I have one pretty close by, but let's see if I can just feed this through here. I think I can do it. Oh yeah, look at that. I think this is going to be beautiful because it is mesh. It's not too heavy of a weight. And look at that with the gold. That's beautiful. And we can just trim it up like that. What about using gold twine? I know, that's exactly what I was thinking, Florence, except for, you know what? I'm out of gold twine. So instead, I think that that is quite pretty. I think that works. And I think I'm still going to get out the blue Misty Moonlight ribbon for tying the actual bag together, or the top of the box, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but I think that those are perfect because they got enough grip to them that you can definitely take them to a little gift. And I like the fact they have gold on them. I think that's important. Gold is our key here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Really, I could use it to close the top too, but I want to see what the other blue looks like, just to bring all of the colors together. And then I'll just quickly pop these through. If you have a hard time with getting ribbon through a little tiny hole, I'm just seeing if I have my floss threaders. I know I had them right here in my little tool kit. There they are. You can get, ask me how I know. Well, I work in a dental office too. You can get these little tiny, they're called floss threaders. And one day while I was working, because I work in a pediatric dental office, and as I was busy cleaning some teeth, and we need these to floss through braces when the kids have braces on, I was thinking to myself, as I'm flossing away, I'm thinking to myself, ooh, this would come handy for some twine, because I can just pop it in there and then I can pull it through the hole like that. So if you have a hard time with your fingers getting the ends of the ribbon through the little holes, I mean, this is a good little investment. I mean, you'll have enough probably for a lifetime, because you get quite a few in there. I've given some away in little working kits. That's why, but it was full. I forget how many you get, but they work perfect. Okay, and we'll put a few more on here. They're looking quite pretty, aren't they? And then I just need to figure out what I'm going to do to decorate the front of these. And I might run some little white flowers. I won't maybe put them on all of the tags right at this moment, but I might run some just to see what it's going to look like, because I think it's going to be the perfect little add-on. Or even Misty Moonlight little blue flowers would be beautiful too, right? Also, a needle threader used in a sewing machine would work. Yeah, same concept. Absolutely. Right? Yeah, they both work perfect. Okay. All right, so look at all these pretty little tags. And I got to figure out what to put on the front. I think I'm going to put a beautiful vase. Okay. Like that. Okay, so there's all our little tags. And we put our little decorative piece on there. Now I'm going to show you the boho ones. And it's funny because I must be drawn to these color combinations because this is more elegant look. But look at, these are the ones from the boho vibes. And again, it was fun because every piece was slightly different. And I put a little tiny kind of outdoorsy looking tree on there, and then here was the little bag. Okay, isn't that cute? And again, these do fit inside there. I just tied that up just so that I could have a picture of the finished bag and then the tags that were inside. But these will definitely, see how these all fit in here. I mean, there's tons of room, but these would all fit on the inside here like that. All 8 of them to give as a little tiny gift to use on their presents. And they'll all fit in there, no problem. I won't put all the other ones in there yet, but they all fit in there. In fact, you could probably fit more than 8, but I think 8 is perfect because then if you wanted to, you could put a little chocolate in there too. But I'm gonna use another piece of the pattern paper. So I'm thinking just on the front, I might put like a beautiful vase, and let's see, I got to decide what color that I'm going to do. I'm thinking green would stand out beautifully. This blue would kind of clash. That blue would look quite pretty too, but I think it might be nice to kind of bring in a little green. So let's, is there any green on here? Oh, there isn't actually. It's on the other sheets that have the green. So yeah, maybe I will do this one. I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to cut this out. Now, this is an easy cut, but there is dies from the Kintsugi, the bundle that is featured in this suite, and they actually cut out the vases and they cut out the little tiny pots too. But like I said, it's an easy little hand one for me right now. Just like that. Beautiful. And then I can add that onto the front. If I wanted to, I could also put some white flowers. I'm wondering, I might even have a few left. Let's see. This one's definitely too big. But what I was thinking about is these tiny little flowers that are in this suite. I mean, this isn't the right color, but see how these little tiny flowers sprinkled on these little tags I think would look really pretty, especially if they're in that dark color, the Misty Moonlight or the white. So I will cut some out and I'll kind of sprinkle some white ones depending on the tag, some white ones and some blue ones on there, and I think it will be really quite beautiful. And then I'm going to pop this up and I'm going to sit it so that the base of it is kind of in the middle of our pink area down here, kind of like a little grounding spot, just like that. And oh, I don't want it on the back, so I want it on this side where there isn't the seam. So I'm going to put it right here on the front. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? A little base on there. Like I said, I can add some little flowers to that after and do a little greeting. This one I did a little thanks and I put it across there. So I'm not sure what I want to give this one for. So I'm not going to put a greeting on it yet because I'm just not sure, right? So I might just do one that says for you or just because. Let me just see. To close the top up, I'm going to add a little punch in the front, about halfway down, like that. It is such a beautiful box, isn't it? And then one, again, opposite side. And so I've got a little slit there and a little slit there, just like that. Now let me grab some ribbon. These are all the ribbons that were in. If you got one of my product shares, you got all 10 of the beautiful new ribbons. So let me just see what is going to go perfect. This one here, I use the cloud cover, which I think would look fantastic again. Like, look at that. I think that would look really pretty. That one's a little dark. This one, let's see. There's the Misty Moonlight. And I think that might be a nice added touch to the top. Let's see. I'm going to take some of this. So this is how this comes. You get a quarter package of each of the ribbons, and it comes in a little bag. So you've got all of the samplings. It's perfect because I ended up that I had, just because I quartered everything, I had extra little pieces from the shares. And so I kept a quarter for myself. And then I had, I cut off my paper share just because I thought for sure we were going to have a postal strike, right? It was looking like it, wasn't it, in Canada? And then it didn't happen. So I did order another group for a couple people that wanted the product shares. So I do have literally 2 product shares that are left up for grabs. And I'll show you. I've got a couple that are being picked up in person. So I have everything that's in the share all in a bag. So I can show you what's in there if anyone would like to grab one of those. And I stick them in a prepaid mailer. That's what I end up doing. So you have them within about 2 days. In fact, if you're close, I think Margaret got hers in a day. So she's just in Vancouver area, or the mainland. So that took a day. Across Canada takes about 3 to 4, but you get them pretty quick. Okay, so there is the little bag with a little bow on it. Here's our little tags that would go inside. And we have this one little tiny piece that is left over. So what I'm going to do, let's see, is I'm going to take, and just like this one, see how it says made with love? I am going to put on the bottom of here, you'll see, make sure I do this right. Made with, and then I'm going to put a little heart, made with love. Okay, and then I can put that on the bottom center of the little box, just like that. Okay, I still need a catalog. I thought one went out to you, Pat. I will double check. If you haven't got one already, then I'll have to check my mailer because I had them mailed directly to customers. So I didn't do the postage for them, but I paid for the postage for them. So I will definitely have a look, and if you haven't got one, I will contact them and we'll get one out to you for sure. Okay, just like if there's anyone else who doesn't have a catalog yet, you're in Canada, you don't already have a Stamped Up demonstrator, I do have a form within my link that you can fill out, and I can get you a catalog. Okay, so what do we think? What do we have left? I'm going to glue that on there once it dries. That's going to go onto there. And basically, we have got nothing left. That is both sheets of our designer series paper, our 8 little tags that are going to go in here, or you can use them as you want. Okay, you can decorate them up if you want. I'm going to add some little flowers to them. Okay, and then, yeah, we've got a nice little gift to give, or you can use the pieces separately, but we have got nothing left. Nothing. We have used it all, which is amazing, right? And I'm going to do a little greeting. I might find some pretty little flowers to put on there too. Okay, so here is the first one. Here's our second one. This one used cloud cover as a card stock and then 2 pieces of the boho. I will add also, instead of little bits of bling, I'm going to put, I think, some little gorgeous little flowers, and I might add a little Wink of Stella to them so they're shiny. And then you can, yeah, you'll have some shiny little flowers on there. Okay, so there you have got that. Okay, so that is your project for tonight. So if you are just joining in, we made the little bag / box, because it is kind of box like, and we made the little tags, 1 cardstock, 2 pieces of DSP, and then a little embellishment and maybe a couple here, so a little bit of ribbon. But you've got all those things laying around your craft room for sure. And yeah, I hope you guys like that project. I will post the templates so that you have them, okay? And it shows just the size of everything and where to cut. And like I said, I don't know, my mind just went there. I was obsessed with being able to do this and have no waste. Yeah, it just kind of came really easy. So I'll try and make some more 3D projects for sure, especially if you've got the product shares. I want to give you lots of products or lots of ideas in which you can use up all of the gorgeous papers and stuff that are within the share. Okay, this is the share. I'll show everything that's in there, and I added, if you got one, you notice I added an extra little bonus. Not only did you get your card bases and your embellishments as my little freebie, I added a little something else as well, just because I couldn't resist. I love to spoil you guys. So I'll dive into that in a second, but I'm trying to think what else I need to share with you. Let's see. We've got a few things on the horizon here. That registration is going to be closing down on the 10th of June. Let's see here. This one is, look at how pretty these are. These are some cards that are for July. Okay, and I mixed up the colors a little bit. So you make 2 of each, but you get to kind of switch the colors out slightly. This one's a different design. And then this one is one design. And again, flop the die cuts out. So you have 2 different looks. Okay, and I've got one more card still to make. And this is going to be for July for Card Club. So that registration is in that little link if you want to hop in on that. It's going to be a beautiful set. The last card I'm going to create is going to be a fun fold for that one. So that is my monthly class I've got. I've got kits to go. Oh my goodness, this one here. If you happen to purchase this little, I think it's actually not sunset. I think it's sunrise. I think I did that wrong. But if you happen to grab this one in your little cart to go when you're shopping through my online store, then I just send you the pieces to create these cards. It is a gift to me so that you can have some fun learning a paper technique. I even stick in a piece of masking paper for you to be able to do that. And I pre-cut out these pieces for you, and you get a PDF to put it all together. Okay, so that is a little kit to go. I have the option in my PDF store to just buy the PDF if you want, if you already have the bundle. If you're a demonstrator already and you just want to be able to make the cards, or you already have the bundle, so you want to be able to just make the cards and use my instructional video and my PDF, all of these are in my PDF store. So all of my past card clubs, they're all in there, 6 pages, very well explained with lots of photos for your fun fold and easy to follow. Okay, and you get a 2-hour full instructional video from me that goes with this. And it doesn't matter if you're near or far. So the nice thing with the PDF store is you do have the option, whether you're in Canada, whether you're outside of Canada, you can still do my virtual PDF video classes. You just prep with the PDF and then you join me for the video, and it's like we're creating together. Okay, so those are all on there. Okay. Now, before I go, I did promise one thing, and that was I would show you through the online store some of the things that are going on. So I am going to share my screen. You may know where some of this stuff is already, but because we have got the buy one, and we have never had this sale before where it's actually buy one item, whether it's a full suite or pieces from the suite or any suite, you can mix and match. It's crazy. And then you get the second item for half price. I want to show you how to work this right. Okay. Because there is, let me just go here so I can chat with you, because there is a right and a wrong way. Hello, everyone. For those of you who are just joining in, there is a right and a wrong way to shop the buy one, get one 50% off, so that you get the best deal. Okay. So I want to show you the trick to that, as well as I just looked today. I had to work today. And it was a busy day at work. So I didn't get a chance to go on yet, but apparently there's new items that were just added to the last chance clearance, or our last chance list. And then I have got all the info for the virtual scrapbooking, which is crazy the amount of stuff that you get in that. And you also get 3 full days, 8-hour days of instruction on putting those 12 double page layouts together. So if you're someone who hasn't had a chance over the years to scrapbook like your whole year of all the different seasons and stuff, this is perfect. And like, you don't need anything extra. It is all pre-cut for you. The stamp sets are there, and then you have those for future creating. Your embellishments are there, your die cut pieces. I mean, it is all laid out for you. And then you get to join a private Facebook group, and it is actually instructors from Stampin' Up! That walk you through how to put all of those pages together over the 3 days. And you don't have to join live, because you'll have access to that Facebook group, which you can watch the replays if you can't make it live. Okay, but I just want to see if this works. Okay, let's see. All right, so here we go. If it doesn't work, I hope it works. Okay, all right, let's go like that. Okay, I think it worked. Okay, so I am hopping on as if I am a customer, just going to, hopefully you can still see. Yes, you can. That is just going to the home page. Okay, so here is the Canadian. Depending on where you are, what country you're in, you're gonna pull up US, you're gonna pull up Australia, you're gonna pull up the UK, wherever you are. Okay, if you're within Canada though, you can find me. You just punch in just like this, Sue Phillip, search, and look, there I am. So I'm gonna go here. That's all you got to do. Now, when you create an online account, you get to earn Stampin' Rewards. So 10% of whatever you purchase goes in a little bank. And so now you can see, there I am up here on the top, shopping with Sue Phillip. Okay, but you can save it for future purchases, and you can bank it up to like a year, so you can really start saving up. Okay, so space is limited. This is the virtual album, but what I want to show you is where to find. Here is all the things that are going on. Let's go to menu. I want to show you where you find out what the suites are. Okay, so I'm going to go to down here on the menu. I'm going to go to shop by, Oh no, hold on. That's not what I want to do. Sorry. Shop products. And I'm going to go to look at product suites. So I'm going to pull up the product suites, and all of these, it doesn't matter if they are pieces that are on the clearance, like if they're on the last chance list. These are all product suites that we have had. Some of them are going out of circulation, so the full suites are not still available. But this, if you go to the suites like this includes everything that is online store as well as in our publications. You can click on any of them. Okay, so like here is our celebratory sips. It shows you everything that is in the suite. So you can mix and match, and you can look through all the different suites, and say I had a couple people who have been waiting for, like, they love this whole suite. So you would click on this suite, you would put it in your basket, and then you could click on another, let's see, I have to go back to, unfortunately it kicks me out each time. I have to go back to, let's go, suites. So this is, if it's within the suite section, it's part of the buy one, get one half off. That's why it's nice to just go to the suite section. But this floral impressions, I'm using that for July's card club. So again, there's a suite. So some people bought one full suite, then they would get the other full suite at half price. Now, this is the tricky part. Say you're like, I love this bundle, so I'm going to get this bundle, and there's another bundle that's in another suite that I want. So you put one bundle in your cart, and you put another bundle in your cart, and you would get one of those bundles at 50% off. But if you happen to stick, say, ooh, but I really like these embellishments too, and you click and you add the embellishments to the cart, what happens is, this is why I wanted to explain it to you, is whatever the lowest price item is that is in your cart that belongs in a suite of products, that is the piece you're going to get 50% off. So if you go and you go shopping and you're like, okay, I bought 2 bundles and I didn't get half price off one, but the only other thing that I bought is a package of embellishments. Well, this package of embellishments is attached to a suite. Okay, so therefore you paid full price for both of your bundles, and then you got 50% off of your embellishment. If you put 2 embellishments in your cart, then you would have ended up paying full price for both bundles, and you got 50% off both of your embellishments. Okay, so that is why I really wanted to explain that, because it can be a little bit confusing that way. Okay, so just remember, if there's a lower price item in there, it belongs to any of these suites of products. That is going to be your 50% off before, if you have 2 larger priced items. Okay, so if you're wanting, like I just had a couple people, they bought one suite, they bought 2 different suites, and perfect, you get half price off one, or 2 bundles, you get half price off one. Stick another little low price item in your cart, and you're going to get half price off that instead. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, I think that's it. Specials, here's your last, under specials, you're going to find your last chance products. Apparently there's new things on here. Okay, yes there is. Look at that. We've got some memory and more. So yeah, have a look. And you can actually, in this last chance section, you can divide it up into things that are 10% off, 20, 30, 40, 50. So if you want to see like what are some really great deals, you can click on here and you can find the stuff that's got the deepest discount. Okay, and you can divide it up to that. Okay, or if you're like, I want at least 30% off, it's going to go 30% off or more. So it'll show you everything 30% off or more. Okay, and then also in that sale section, you also have the suite sale. So this will give you all of, oh, look at this. See, this shows you all of the different suites. That's a little bit better of a way to see them. Look at them all. They're so beautiful. Okay, so all these sweets, all of them are all get one half off. Okay, so there's a lot of different ones in there. Or you can get, if you like the paper from this one and the paper from that one, you can do that and you can get half price off the second paper. Okay, so yeah, have a look and see. I just wanted to point it out to you. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. There we go. And I'm going to go back, get rid of that. Okay. So hopefully that helped. Did that help explain some things? I'm hoping it did. Thank you guys. I can't believe that a lot of you stayed around for that, but I think it's important to know kind of how to navigate things so that if there is a deal, you can get the best possible deal from that deal, if you know what I mean. So you know, like if you're wanting to get a half price bundle, then grab like a couple bundles or something that's equivalent price, and then don't chuck in like some little packages of clearance embellishments if it's left in a suite, because that's what they're going to discount, not one of the bundles. Okay, does that make sense? I know, Sandy, you got some good stuff today, didn't you? I saw that. Yeah, so have a look, have some fun, treat yourself to something pretty, right? Okay, it did help. Good, that's awesome. And like I said, if anyone has any questions about anything that they've got going on, definitely let me know. Now, I'm just always sticking it out there because it's the best possible deal ever. I know that the starter kit doesn't have that extra 85% off right now. That was the deal that was in May. But the starter kit is always the best deal, and you can combine it with sales, right? So if you really want a great deal and then you want a continued discount, because for me and my fellow demos that are here, when we get our buy one, get one half off, we get an additional 20% off of all of that to 25, right? As a baseline discount. So for us, it's like we're getting 20% off of the first one to 25% off the first one, and then we're getting additional off of that 50% off, right? You see where I'm going there? So for the starter kit, it's back to $165 worth of stuff. For you pay $135. You don't pay any taxes, but you do get a paper pumpkin. The tax alone, you save quite a bit. And you could put a buy one bundle, get another one half price. So then you're even getting more out of that $135 worth, right? If it's on sale, you get the sale price in there, right? Or you can shop the clearance items and stick a whole pile of stuff in that kit. And a lot of you are part of my Step It Canadian team. Love you guys. And then you get access to my classroom corner, which is my PDFs that I have like on my stores and stuff. You get all the PDFs for free, and you get my instructional videos for free for all of my classes. So that's another little bonus for the Stamp It Canadian family that I've got. Okay, so just reach out if you have any questions. All right, because I like for you guys to get a cut rate on your crafting supplies, because we all know as crafters, we always want it all. We do. So if you can get a deal on it, that helps, right? Am I right, ladies? Okay, so thank you guys so much. Like I said, hope you enjoyed the project. Hope that little tutorial of the actual website helped you out. You know how to attack that sale, where to find some extra deals, and the information about that huge scrapbooking amazing event that they're having. It's happening in July, so it's not till July, but the kits are while supplies last, and you get everything in a massive box that comes. The page protectors, they got flip flaps, they got everything in there, yeah, it's a great deal. So if you want to try scrapbooking, that's the way to go. They do all the cutting for you. Okay, all right, goodbye ladies, have a great evening. I will be back Friday morning. I think I'm going to come back Friday morning is my next time. We are going to get back to our cup of coffee, our creating and connecting. In between now and then, though, remember my pile. Remember all of these scraps? And I went last night and I created this one using up my scraps. And my challenge for the week, I'm challenging myself to use up all of these scraps with different options on cards on how to use them up. And I have already created another one. You will see it, I think, tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It's my mom's birthday tomorrow. I'm going to go and see her after work and have a nice visit. And I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. There's still lots of time to create tonight, but have a great day tomorrow, okay? Take care, everyone. Bye for now.